Hey guys, and welcome to this week's video. I am sorry for my voice. I've got this coldy fluey thing and my throat is very sore and it's very painful to swallow or talk. So today's video is gonna be short, I think, hopefully. I didn't want to not film a video for this week because I like doing these videos, so I still wanted to do it no matter how awful I sound and I look during the video. I still feel really mentally crap and sad and just awful, and obviously with this coldy flu thing it's not helping my mood at all. But the other week in therapy I got a chance to sit down with my therapist and we talked about the main topics that we've discussed over our time together and how far I've come with them, and if I've sort of accepted them and if I've dealt with them enough, if I need to look over them again. And I didn't want to do it because I thought it would be a silly idea, but I've actually covered a lot in my therapy sessions, and I think it's amazing to look back and see how far you've actually come. And obviously topics can include anxiety was one for me, self-worth was another, stuff that happened from childhood, or even a topic is that a lot of us, I'm sure everybody gets with mental health, is you're sad for no reason. There is no flashback, there's no memory, there's no reason why you should be this depressed or sad, but you are. And I think most of my depressing moments have been where there has been no cause, there has been no defying cause, there's been no sort of connection to something that's happened in my past or anything like that, but for some reason I'm just sad. And we got a chance to talk through them and see how I felt about them now that I've sort of talked about them individually. And I realised that I've come a long way. They're always going to be there. Therapy doesn't magically fix everything. It doesn't take away the pain. The pain of those topics are always going to be there. It is just learning ways to deal with them that don't affect your whole world. It was so nice to look back and see that I managed to talk about some of the worst moments of my life and come out the other side. And I know I've got a long way to go. I'm nowhere near done with them. But for a person that refused to talk to anybody and was scared to tell anybody, I've opened up and talked about some of the feelings that I'm even afraid to admit to myself. And knowing that I've done that and seeing how I feel now to where I was when I first started talking about these topics, it was amazing to sort of see how far I've actually come. Because sometimes you can feel like you're going to therapy sessions, you're working on yourself, you're doing all these tips and tricks you see and you learn from other people, and you're constantly working on your mental health. And a lot of the time is you don't see a benefit. You don't feel any different. There's no magical wand waved that makes you feel any better. And I honestly didn't think that I had done well enough with a lot of those topics. I thought they'd still probably bother me a lot. But getting a chance to look back and talk about how I feel now compared to how I felt when I first started there, it felt great to know that I've actually come a long way. And it also gave me the chance to see what topics I need to work on. Because, you know, when you talk about a topic and a subject, I thought I'd obviously talked about my suicide attempt, but when I looked back, I hadn't really. I sort of gave a brief description and kept it very minimal with no real feeling a part of it. So that is something that I definitely need to work on, because that suicide attempt changed my whole world. And it's still a huge part of me today, and it will be for the rest of my life. Because that suicide attempt was me saying I want to give up and then all of a sudden changing my mind, and that's a huge life event. So I learned that I hadn't really dealt with that. I learned that I still feel very worthless and I have very low self-worth, and it was just good to look back to see how far I've come and some topics I still desperately need to work on. So even if you're not in therapy, I'd recommend that whatever you're doing, whether you're helping yourself, whether you're with doctors, whether whatever you're doing, look back to how you're feeling now to how you were feeling when you first started dealing with that topic, and you'll see an improvement. No matter how small it is, it's still an improvement, and those improvements count. And it gave me a lot of hope to know that even though it's very, very tedious and it's tiring and I don't see results and it's a lot of hard work and I feel like nothing's changed and a lot of the time I'm just wanting to give up, I am making improvements. Slowly, but I'm making improvements, and that's what matters. It really helped give me a bit of a confidence boost in the fact that I can do this, and it gave me some more hope, which I was lacking lately, to let me know that, you know what, I'm doing it. I am doing it. And if I've made it that big an improvement so far, that if I keep on at it, I can make an even better one. So I encourage you to look back to topics that you first started when you first had your mental illness compared to where you are now. And some topics you might still feel the same, like I did with self-worth and suicide and anxiety, whereas other topics you might feel like you've done a huge jump and you didn't even know. I found it really, really helpful to look back just to see how far I've actually come on since I started therapy. I am now going to go back to bed because I look and feel pretty crap and I just want to cuddle up and fall asleep. Everybody should check out the Heads Together campaign that Harry, Will and Kate are doing, the royal family are doing. It's all about mental health and they've teamed up with other mental health charities to raise awareness, and it's amazing what they're doing and I fully support it, and I am 100% willing to sort of get involved any way I can with it because I think it's amazing that we're finally at a place where people are acknowledging that mental health is just as important as physical health. So thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I will feel better in next week's video. Bye guys.